in the ad court. Austin Krajicek in the deuce court. Jean-Julien Rojer to serve to start us off.
Yeah, good start there.
15.
You mentioned winning all 4 points on your side and no ad doubles. And in other words, we would call that a natural break in the tennis locker room.
Oh,
it's
wow.
it gets kind of abbreviated to a natty break. It means that you did it alone, naturally, no help from the partner needed. So Jessie Pegula showing that she can carry the load if needed.
Left versus.
I like that. Learning some inside lingo right off the bat here.
Good start there from Jean-Julien Rojer. Pretty important to keep that first serve percentage high in doubles. A lot of it's not trying to hit aces, it's setting up your partner. So you never really want to press the envelope on how fast you can hit it. You want to try and keep that first serve percentage a little bit higher.
It's almost disorienting watching Ben Shelton play doubles because he doesn't go after his serve the way he does in singles. Shelton and Taylor Townsend have been a popcorn team. Winner of this match is going to play that team in the semifinals. Shelton was hitting his serves averaging around 105 for the first serve, except when the points got big. Suddenly 125, 135. Be nice to have that in your pocket.
He can do a little bit of everything. Something tells you his 105 has a little bit more shape on it than the average 105, though.
It's got some bite to it.
Coming from that angle with that action.
That caught the line. Second serve ace
Perez
for Rojer, and a hold at love
First
for
game.
the number 5 seeds to start out this quarterfinal match in the mixed doubles. Roger's been we see a few guys out there in their 40s still playing at a really high level. Rohan Bopana is out there at the age of 42. So is Jean-Julien Rojer. These guys can still get it done. What makes these guys who are still out there at an advanced stage so tough in the doubles court?
Well, doubles, because you're only covering half the court, is a lot about positioning and knowing where to be. It's not so much foot speed as it is knowing exactly how to cover the court and be active and help your partner. So these guys have been doing it for a long time. They might have lost a step from their most springy days and say their early to late 20s, but these guys knowing exactly how to cover and blanket the court, it allows them to be effective even into their 40s.
So Austin Krajicek of the United States will start serving for the number 1 seeds.
A good start there.
15.
As I mentioned, that first serve percentage staying high, and Austin Krajicek having the advantage of being a lefty. Kind of comes in at a different angle than you're used to seeing. Not so many lefties on tour, so when you do get one with have a good sliding slice serve like that, it'll be a little tricky to return.
Left versus.
That'll be a first serve. It's one of the ongoing storylines here is the net calls have been suspect at times where the sensor's going off. Something I'd never seen before is earlier in the tournament when there were just an abundance of net courts that both players would look up at the chair umpire and say, "What are you doing?" And I saw one player say, "It's not just me. It's calling a let when he's doing it too." And then none of them are. That's something I think they're going to work on the calibration of next year.
They have to.
14.
That's a great serve there from Austin Krajicek to put them at 40 love. But you know, these net devices, they're really advanced. They actually have sensitivity ratings where you can change the sensitivity. So at times, if it's being a little bit too over responsive and maybe getting a little set off by just a ball passing close by, you can turn that sensitivity down and make it to where it has to be a little bit more of an aggressive touch. And that can at times fix the problem. I've seen them do that at other tournaments throughout the year.
For Pegula and Krajicek, some of our younger viewers might not remember, but there used to be a person in a chair sitting next to the net with their hand in their ear to the net That would be very dangerous now with how fast everyone's serving.
Absolutely. You see those old school tennis matches of some of those all-time greats that you used to
Perez
watch growing up. And you see those matches with somebody sitting in the chair there. You go, man, it looks like they are right in the line of fire. As we see Ellen Perez try to kick off our first campaign from the women's serve.
Both of these teams lefty-righty combinations. Ellen, the left-hander, for the number 5 seeds.
That was a good serve there. You can hear Austin Krajicek say good serve. He was trying to get around and hit that forehand return, but 86 miles an hour on the second serve, I would say, puts her on the faster end of second serve speed for a lot of the women who are out there serving. Second serves at times can be an opportunity to jump on the opponent and see if you can take a bit of advantage of the point.
That stays from Jessica Pegula.
15.
Rojer let it go and it clipped the baseline.
Well, as you can see, this nice short compact backswing, getting it out in front and showing Rojer that she has no problem going straight up that line. As you can see, Rojer was kind of pinching toward the middle, seeing if he can get himself involved, and Jesse's showing him, you got to cover that line. Very well done there. Austin Krajicek able to manage that return down the line, just out of reach for the put-away volley for Rojer, and then they were managing the ability to get forward, 2 overheads in the middle. Jesse Pegula actually taking the overhead from the left-handed Krajicek, shows you his confidence he has in her. Nice serve there.
13.
Excellent return there down the line. Austin Krajicek reading that John Julian Rojer was trying to be a little bit more involved in helping with the move, but able to hit that return down the line for the winner and set up our first break point opportunities today.
And it'll be 2 break chances should they need them again for the number 1 team of Pegula and Krajicek as we play no ad scoring. First 30-40. Here we go.
Just a little bit overcooked. Good hit.
And Pegula will get another look at the Perez serve here on the deciding point.
You can see a good take back there, and that was a good hit. She just overcooked it a little bit, but nothing wrong with that. You can see she thought she made it. Another second serve chance here. You wonder if they can escape this. That middle finger is the body sign.
It looks like Rojer's going to stay where he is. He tried to cut off the second ball. Pegula gets it out of the reach.
Jessica Pegula to serve.
Back in Armstrong, the number 1 seeds, and Jessica Pegula serving with a 2-1 lead to Perez and Rojer.
Let for serve.
It's so important that first game after you break to make sure you solidify it. And Jesse Pegula doing an excellent job setting up Austin Krajicek there at the net. Austin's a very active mover when his partner is serving. He gets really tight on the net and has very fast hands, so it allows him to fight off any ball hit his way.
Left for serve.
Well, just a little hesitation there from Krajicek, who was trying to get involved, and it may have slowed up Jessie Pegula just a little bit, as she wasn't sure if she was supposed to go the other direction and go behind a crossing. Krajicek might have thrown off her backhand just a touch.
And now a little bit of an opening for Perez and Rojer to try to get this break right back. It's 15-30.
Yeah, you can see Roger's willingness to move forward, hitting a good return immediately following that into the net. A lot of people would be hit that return and then content to stay in a baseline rally, but he's going to press the initiative today, see how much he can get forward to the net. Ooh, that was a good second serve, body serve there, just getting a little bit in close to the body of Perez, and she'll want that one back if they're not able to break, because that was a good look to try and set up a break point opportunity. So you can see a little strategizing there. Austin Krajicek trying to figure out where Jessie Pegula wants to serve so he knows which way to move. Well, that was a really good move there by Krajicek. As he saw John Julian Rojer hit that excellent forehand return on the previous point, and pinching toward the middle made Rojer overcook it just a touch out of the reach, but that ends up falling wide to set up game point opportunity.
Now there's that Jessica Pegula clean strike on the backhand wing, and comes back from a little bit of a deficit to hold for a 3-1 lead. And make sure you download the US Open app to follow your favorite players, track the latest scores, stats, match highlights, player news, and more. It's available in the App Store and the Google Play Store.
Sometimes here, as those lights start coming on in these big stadiums, it can be quite bright. It's almost like a football stadium because how beautiful and big these Armstrong Stadium and Arthur Ashe stadiums here are at the US Open. And sometimes if it gets caught in that light, some of these really high arcing overheads can be a little tricky to see. As you can see, looking straight into that, if the ball were to cross through one of those, you lose it for just a split second. Well, if they let this double break slip, that could be a really big deficit for the first set. When you let that first break go, it's pretty essential to keep it at just one, especially in doubles where breaks are few and far between.
Right now, Perez probably needs a vote of confidence from her partner, Rojer. Back-to-back errors at the net. And again, taking advantage of, with not doing enough on the volley and then getting caught. And it's love 40.
Exactly. That was a good move by Perez, but just not the same confidence in the volley you'd like to see with her trying to knock off that volley. She went with the elected touch volley that didn't have too much work off the court, and it was able to have Pegula track it down, set up this breakpoint chance.
Well into the body for Rojer, but still more chances, 3 of them coming to the #1 seed should they need them to take a 4-1 lead.
And if you're Austin Krajicek here, you'd be thinking to maybe go after Perez at the net after she showed a little bit of signs of uncertainty. So I would be thinking maybe down the line with this return. What a point. Not a bad move at all by Austin Krajicek. And the one thing that stands out there is how eager Jesse Pegula is to get involved in the point. After this ball goes straight through the middle here on this next shot, it was Jesse Pegula who gets over there, puts this lob right on the baseline, almost turns the point back in their favor. But then just at the last second, Julien Rojer is able to pull this down the line, erase that break point opportunity.
Well, there's another one here and a second serve for Jessica Pegula on the Rojer serve. And there's the return winner from Jessica Pegula. And the top seeds now have a 4-1 lead with 2 breaks in hand on Armstrong.
4-1 for set.
Krajicek serving now against the number 5 seeds, Perez and Rojer. What's been the difference to you so far?
Well, a lot of it's been the effectiveness on the first serve percentage for Pegula and Krajicek. When that first serve percentage drops a little bit and you give the second serve chances a little bit too much, a lot of times that can be a big hole to get out of.
And they're converting on over 70, or about 71% of their first serves in play is that they're winning those points. And they're serving at 70%, which means that they're winning most of their service points, period. Although not that one, with Krajicek throwing in an unforced error really into the net.
Yeah, first deficit here today on serve, but that's not a bad thing at all. They've been really effective in staying aggressive. Jesse Pegula has been really involved, as you saw that return winner there to secure the double break. She's got so much confidence out there.
Jesse's the highest ranked women's singles player in the doubles draw. Not only that, she's a regular doubles player on tour with Coco Gauff, so she's playing doubles week in and week out at the highest level. That's got to be a boon to this team.
Well, she's spoken many times about how she would rather play a competitive match in any format than have to go out and practice on an off day, so it really suits what she likes to do as far as preparation goes for her singles. And then obviously if things do go south in singles, you still have the opportunity, if you're at her level, to bring home a Grand Slam title, and that's always something that you can say to your name. Well, again, Julien Rojer willing to hit the return and come forward and kind of put Austin Krajicek in a little bit of a conundrum because he wasn't sure if he should try and stick it straight through Perez, who we've seen be a little bit shaky on the volley, or if he should go to Rojer, who was much deeper in the court, and maybe that would have been an easier spot to go to on that occasion.
That's a big ace to get out of a little bit of a jam at 15-30. Now it's 30-all.
Well, that's the benefit of having that lefty slice serve. It doesn't have to always be hit at 115 miles an hour. He hits that one only 92 miles an hour, but so much action on it, it was nowhere near being able to be returned for not only Perez, but really anybody. Oh, another late call. I wonder if Jesse Pegula there kind of smiling, wondering if she's hearing anything.
Here's Julie Genley, the chair umpire. And there is video review on these bigger courts, like Louis Armstrong Stadium, but lets are not one of the things that can be reviewed. Oh, it's great hands from Rojer. And 2 break chances now to get one of the breaks back for Perez and Rojer.
You can see that that's one of his main strategies out here today. That's maybe the 3rd or 4th time already in the early goings that he's hit the return and come in very quickly afterwards, applying the pressure. And it's worked out twice here in the Austin Krajicek service game. He's going to look for a first serve to try and erase this first break point. That's so good by Jessie Pegula, helping clean up that first volley through the middle, setting up Austin Krajicek for the 1-2 punch put away. As you can see, it was an excellent second serve here, and Jessie Pegula, just knowing where the split opening was between Rojer and Perez, puts it in the perfect location.
All right, possibly pivotal deciding point here. The difference between 5-1 and 4-2.
This feels like a must for this first set if they're going to stay in it for Perez and Rojer. Oh, that's excellent.
Game, Perez, Rojer.
Rojer has lifted his game for sure.
Pegula, Krajicek lead, 4 games.
And one of those breaks comes back. It's 2-4.
A little sneaky smile there from him after he plays this point. Watch a little continental return. All he's trying to do is get it forward so he can come in and hit the volley. You know, that charge after that return worked 3 times there in that game where he was able to break serve almost by himself. Excellent return.
And you know what, to your point that you made last game, all 3 times he chipped and came in, Krajicek went right back to Rojer. He never went at Ellen Perez, whose confidence was kind of rattled from a break before.
Yeah, a bit surprising that he didn't try to take one of those first volleys. I think you're kind of preconceived to stay away from the net person.
Right, that was my next question, is the differences between playing doubles in men's doubles and in mixed doubles, because you're right, the play in men's doubles would be go to whoever's further away. It's hard to change your mind.
It absolutely is, and it's also a little bit unorthodox for even mixed doubles for someone to hit the return and charge in so fast. You know, you get on the practice court and you rehearse these things so many times that you want to just be almost on autopilot when you're out there playing. And at times, what you've done so many times in the practice court, it can be difficult to change, because a lot of times that ball's traveling over the net towards you. You only have, you know, milliseconds to make a decision.
That's well done from Krajicek. Recognized the dropper quickly and got over.
And really good vision there. You know, as he's running up here, he takes a quick peek up. You can see after this drop volley, Austin Krajicek keeps his eyes forward, and he's able to find that line that was just open. You can see him eyes on ball, also eyes on Rojer, and gets it down the line for the winner. Sets up a little mini opportunity as they try and get that second break back. They've done such a good job here keeping this at just 1 break after they broke back.
Not out of it yet, though. Pegula's going to have a look at a second serve. Rojer giving the signals to Perez. And that'll sail long. So indeed, Perez holds, and it's 3-4.
Ball change, please.
But still a break in hand for Jessica Pegula, who will serve with new balls after they change ends. Midtown Manhattan, just across the way from us here in Queens, Jessica Pegula serving at 4-3.
Really good job making that first serve there. After they let that 1 break slip on the Austin Krajicek serve, you'd know there'd be an emphasis here to make sure they consolidate this break and hold and give Austin a chance to serve it out if needed.
And again, both players looking over to Julie Genley, the chair umpire, in disbelief. And a little roll of the eyes from Jessica Pegula. She did well with her second chance at a first serve. It's still got to be frustrating, though.
Yeah, she did. And Jessie Pegula is one of those girls who, if she says something, you believe it. She's not somebody who cries wolf out there and likes to make a lot to complain about. So if she says something, I'm always inclined to trust the Jesse Pegula judgment.
Rojer all over that second serve and a little help from the net court.
Yeah, that never hurts anybody. Austin Krajicek was there to try and make a move on that ball, but Jesse Pegula did a good job of making him still have to hit a very difficult overhead, which he was able to put into the alley. Secure that point there for Perez and Rojer. It was such an impressive game here from Jesse Pegula, showing a lot of that experience, how comfortable she is on the big stage. As you can see, 80% first serve points won, 8 for 10 on that stat, as opposed to only 54% for Perez and Rojer. That will be a number that will have to continue to rise if they want to find their way back into this match.
Points for 5-3 now for the #1 seeds. And they only needed one. So Jessica Pegula holds. And they were a game away from taking the first set.
5 games to 3 for sets.
David Witt.
Yeah, David Witt, longtime coach of Venus Williams, was a great player himself, established himself as one of the great coaches. And now he's helping Jesse Pegula as she has just continued in all aspects of the game to reach new heights.
That's well played by both sides. Actually, not a bad return. Hey, I'm noticing, look, both women are returning on the ad side. And I'm wondering if before we played no ad scoring, if we would have seen that as much before. Because when there was ad scoring, it always seemed the bigger points were on that side of the court. Whereas now, on the deciding point, it's man-to-man and woman-to-woman. Has that changed the way mixed doubles teams have lined up?
It's more about now staying where those men will play for most of the year. Both these guys are double specialists, and so they're sticking with the side that they play for the majority of the year on with their partners that they play full-time with. So if they're practicing doubles, you see that Jesse Pegula fall in the net. If they're out there practicing doubles, there's no real need for Austin Krajicek to go and work on returns from the other side of the court. He can really spend all of his time working on the angles and the way that the ball comes in from that deuce side. And so when he gets out here, that's going to be the side that he's been seeing this happen.
That's well done by Krajicek finding the seam. Still points for 5-4 or 4-5. So that stands to suggest that that's how doubles teams are actually put together now. You find someone who is comfortable on the other side of the court that you want to play with. That's
one of the first questions they ask at the end of the year when you see people who are kind of reshuffling. What side are you most comfortable on?
That's quality hold from Rojer. They'll change ends, and then Austin Krajicek will serve for the first set for the #1 seeds.
Great 1-2 there. Austin Krajicek had been broken in the last service game of his at 4-1. He'll be looking to try and get this started on the right note. Doing an excellent job there. Good first serve, setting up Jesse Pegula. Another excellent serve there. Effectively using that slider wide in the ad court. That is probably the most typical serve a left-hander will learn at a young age after playing mostly right-handed opponents as a junior. They'll start to really learn how to utilize that.
Dare I say, if they don't, they won't have as much success as if they do.
That's exactly right. It's a very essential serve.
Notice who we went right after on that first ball.
Yeah, good adjustment there from Austin Krajicek, kind of sensing that the Rojer return and charge play was something that was becoming a regularity, and knowing that he had to try and take this one at Perez, who is a little bit further back than she usually is, just due to the return being a little higher off the racket.
Set points galore now. And the beauty of the serve from Austin Krajicek. First set goes to the top seeds, Krajicek and Pegula, 6 games to 4. Getting ready for the start of the second set, pardon me, on Louis Armstrong Stadium. Russ Thaler, Ryan Harrison with you. This is Jean-Julien Rojer.
Well, it works. It is the second court of the U.S. Open.
It is. In fact, it's about the same size as the other main courts for the other majors. When you talk about capacity, it's about the same capacity as center court at Wimbledon, right around Rod Laver Arena, too.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what the debut of Arthur Ashe Stadium was, but in the old days, Louis Armstrong was the main stadium at U.S. Open before this beautiful Arthur Ashe Stadium came into play.
It was, and Grandstand was a little appendage off to the side of Louis Armstrong Stadium. That's all been done away with. It's almost a new grounds that they took 3 years to complete. And it is a magnificent national tennis center that we have here that's been packed to the gills like every day since the start of qualifying.
Yeah, I mean, that old grandstand court used to be built off of Louis Armstrong Stadium. As we take a look here at the grounds, you have grandstand right here, no roof on grandstand. The only 2 roofs are Ashe and Armstrong.
That old grandstand used to have a restaurant in Armstrong that would overlook one side of grandstand. It was kind of flat. That's gone. Grandstand is in the foreground. You see Ashe is the big one with the big roof, and we're behind it, the red-looking building. That's Louis Armstrong Stadium. It's a unique-looking structure, absolutely gorgeous, and a fun place to watch a match. There's not a bad seat in the house because the seats go almost straight up.
Well, that new grandstand stadium is beautiful. A lot of people were a little partial to the old grandstand stadium, including myself. It was my debut at U.S. Open, and I think that a lot of people got the sense that that old grandstand had some of the epic matches that would play late in the 5th set, late in the day. Obviously, grounds passes only needed for Armstrong and grandstand. You don't need that Arthur Ashe ticket, so people would stay out late for those thrilling 5-setters.
Well, I'll tell you this, Ryan. I wasn't here for that, but I grew up coming to this tournament, having grown up just across the river in New Jersey, and that grandstand was my dad and I's favorite place to watch matches because you said it right. You didn't need a ticket for Armstrong, and you can get in there and get as close as you could get to some of the best players in the world and some of the best matches you'll ever see.
Well, the best feeling was if you were playing on that old grandstand, you'd look up at Armstrong, and the people who were in Armstrong would be standing at the top. It would be fully, completely packed with people who are looking over down, almost directly down, overhead view on the old grandstand. So, you know, great, beautiful new grandstand. There was a good bit of memories on the old grandstand.
The closest thing we have to that now is court 17 here, I think.
Correct.
To that old grandstand. Feels like a little bull ring. And the other thing that's very similar to what you just said is now on court 12 out here, people will stand at the top on a good match on 17 and overlook straight down into 17.
That is the excitement of the U.S. Open. People will go to all areas to get a bird's eye view of some great matches going on. Austin Krajicek doing a good job here.
(30-15).
just letting them back in this service game. Back to 30 all, and Austin Krajicek will try and find a first serve here as he avoids facing more break points after having been broken at 4-1 in the opening set.
And an important first serve there for Austin Krajicek to sort of stem the tide. I'm sure the last thing Pegula and Krajicek want to do is give Perez and Rojer some hope here at the beginning of set number 2.
Just a little overcooked there, and now facing this no-ad point, which could be pivotal here in the early stages. They try to avoid going down an early break here after securing that first set. You don't really want to give too much hope on the other side of the net. They're able to avoid going down that break. Again, going down the line with that first volley, trying to target Perez there at the net, who just needs a little bit more confidence. You saw a little bit of her confidence start to grow toward the later stages of the first set as she put a few volleys away. She's going to look to try and capitalize on that momentum here as she volleys a bit better and a little bit more stick on it to get back into this match. Good move there from Rojer. As we talked about, his willingness to get involved and to get in the action makes that good move, crosses over, and finds himself putting away that forehand volley. Another 1-2 punch. And that's what Perez can do with that nice lefty serve. She can put a lot of action on it and let Rojer do his thing at the net. Here to start the second set, first serve points won, 4 out of 4, 100%. Doing an excellent job with the 1-2 punch for Rojer Perez.
This has been smooth sailing for Perez and Rojer. Early stages of this second set. Well, Pegula and Krajicek, it looks like maybe a little bit of a dip in energy.
Well, ever since that 4-1 double break, it's felt like momentum has kind of settled in with Perez and Rojer, and they're building on that as they get this little lead here to start the second set.
Even if you lose the set after that, you can still feel like you have momentum going in?
If you were down 2 breaks and you break back once and they just kind of snuck a hold there at the end, that's a good return there from Pegula. If you look at the way that this has transpired, you know, they did a good job of getting back in that first set and making Krajicek have to serve it out. And then coming into this second set, the very first game, creating a break point opportunity, and it seemingly holds comfortably the first now 1 and maybe 2 games as they sit here at 40-15.
Yep, you can sense this match tightening up. We're on serve in the second. The top seeds took the first on Armstrong.
2-1 second set.
In New York, Jessica Pegula to serve at 1-2 in the second.
What an excellent lob there by Jessie Pegula. It seems like all of her lobs have found within a couple inches of the baseline, and as they sit here and try and secure this hold and get that momentum going back in their direction, as you see so many fans enjoying this sunset, beautiful sky here in New York City. Nice little reddish glow.
It's actually probably the first time all day it feels decent being outside. It's still warm, but man, it was a scorcher earlier today. In fact, it was so sunny and hot that they closed the roof on Ash halfway to try to give a little more shade to the fans. As Rojer tries to poke a forehand down the line, but it's wide, and Pegula very quickly to 40 love. And the big smile show you that, yeah, that's something that'll calm the nerves just a little bit if things are tightening up. Win some free points.
Well, the Pegula serve has been a little bit more secure to the moment than the Austin Krajicek serve. Austin Krajicek doing a great job of helping out at the net, so we won't totally put him under the bus with that one. He's doing an excellent job at the net. Jessie getting that
40-15.
old announcer's curse as soon as I start talking about her great serve. She has her double fault there.
At the highest levels, how much of a responsibility does the non-server take in a service game? Is it 50%? Is it 40%? Is it 70%?
I would venture as far as to say 40%. I think that the server has a lot of job to try and make first serves and hit their spots. But the person at the net does an excellent job of staying involved, making the court feel small for the returner.
Second set.
Perhaps forcing return errors like we just saw from Jean-Julien Rojer. And hey, you can stay connected to the US Open on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Go ahead and join the conversation with the hashtag US Open. In mixed, as the male, do you sometimes feel a greater responsibility to be more disruptive at the net because maybe you're not going to get free points off first serves as much?
You want to be active and you want to be involved, but you definitely don't want to be pressing. You have to have faith in your partner, whether it's singles or, excuse me, doubles or mixed doubles. You still have to trust that person on the other side of the net. Now, would you call a couple more moves and fakes and stuff like that to see if you could help out? Then absolutely you will, because you want to try and put a little disruption in the opponent's mind. It's Ellen Perez there, puts that ball away.
15.
Ellen Perez just only recently focusing on only doubles. She played singles for a long time after graduating from University of Georgia in 2017, Georgia Bulldog, and then moving on into the professional ranks, playing singles and doubles, and after having such excellent success at the doubles level now, focusing only on that as she tries to enter the top 10 here soon.
Well done from Rojer to pick off that tremendous return from Krajicek off his shoelaces. Block it back deep. And an ace.
40-15.
Second of the match for the team of Perez and Rojer.
Well, this Jessie Pegula lob is something special. Every time she has the opportunity to flick it up over there, it seems like she executes it with perfection, setting up an opportunity to stay in this game and apply a little bit of pressure now as they try and turn up the opportunity to potentially get out to a break lead.
That's a big return.
Such a good return there. Jesse Pegula has that forehand, as we talked about, very compact backswing, gets it out in front. So that's why the pace doesn't bother her too much. She's able to really get all that momentum and body weight moving forward. And as you can see, Jean-Julien Rojer still quite a few steps behind the service line as she gets it on him very quickly here, setting up breakpoint opportunity for Pegula Krajicek.
And it'll be man-to-man. Rojer serving to Krajicek. Deciding point, perhaps a pivotal point of this second set.
You do get the feeling that this is that momentum shifter that they're looking for here. Second serve return, Austin Krajicek on the return.
And Perez finds the inside of the court. Krajicek went right after her, and Perez and Rojer hold on serve at 3-2 in the second. So the #1 seed, Jessica Pegula and Austin Krajicek, took the first set. 6-4 from Ellen Perez and Jean-Julien Rojer. We're on serve through 5 games of set number 2, with Austin Krajicek of the United States serving at 2-3. And just long on the topspin lob, one of the first topspin lobs off the backhand wing of Jessica Pegula that we've seen miss the mark. Didn't miss by much.
Out. 30-15.
Uh-oh.
Well, as we talked about those lights being a little tricky up there. A few more unforced errors starting to creep in off of the Pegula Krajicek rackets. They try and keep this all squared up on serve here in the second set.
Now look out now. Play. Danger time.
That's been such an effective play for them today, and you can see the confidence in Ellen Perez growing as she puts away that forehand volley here to set up break point. Ellen Perez was no walkover on the tennis court. She actually won the Australian Open wild card playoff in 2016 over Ash Barty.
Huh. It's kind of a career accomplishment in there. Put that on.
Hey, you take out Ash Barty anywhere, it goes to show you how talented you are, and that's something to show you as to, you know, her versatility, being a force on the doubles court, being a force on the singles court. Ash Barty, another player who had a lot of success in doubles as well as moving it to singles, winning a Grand Slam, and going out on top. There it is.
And there's the break.
Well, you could just see the confidence growing in her throughout this set as they got a little bit more comfortable. Her moves got closer to the net. She got more involved, and seeing herself get up in the court, putting away 2 volleys there. Rojer electing to go with that block low return. Austin Krajicek trying to get in fast off the serve. He actually did that off a first serve return. Got in really close. Kind of reminded me of the Roger Federer saber where he would take it right off the short hop. And you get the feeling that this is the game they have to hold.
See, it could be this. It could be the saber. That was sneak attack by Roger. This would be the sneak attack by Rojer.
I like it. I think Rojer would appreciate his name being thrown in that sort of conversation.
Anyone would be. This is big, though, as
Love
Perez
it.
and Rojer try to consolidate this break.
Well, it seems like we've seen more overhead misses than makes out there as these players try to adjust to the night vision after that sun goes down, which it has here recently in the last several minutes. It's a change to see that light shining bright. Jean-Julien Rojer, he's an animal at the net.
15.
Finding all areas of the court that he can cover, putting away that inside-out forehand volley just out of reach of Jesse Pegula, who was barely able to touch it but not able to get it back in the court.
And there's a look at that sort of early night sky. It's not completely dark either. That's the thing. There's still that pinkish hue. There will be for another few minutes before it turns totally dark, and then it becomes a proper night-night match here. Perez going right at Pegula, and Pegula holding her ground, and it's 15-30.
15-13.
I was wondering if Perez was going to take a play out of the Pegula playbook and try and throw up a topspin lob over her, because Jesse Pegula is not going to miss too many balls, even if they're hit right at her. She's got such quick hands. Ellen Perez tried to continue to speed it up and wasn't quite able to stay on it. You can hear the
13.
vocal affirmation of good serve, and we thought it was a good serve too. Tied her up in the forehand body. All she could do was try and block lob. And you get the feeling this is the game for Pegula Krajicek to try and break back. Rojer has been really efficient on his serve ever since that first set.
That is a terrific first serve from Ellen
14-13.
Perez.
Yeah, the last couple serves taking a bit off, hitting that good lefty slice. You could see from the camera angle just how much action that has. It starts from an angle that's on one side of the court and it bends all the way back around, making it really difficult for an outstretched Krajicek. Oh, the craftiness.
That would have been nice if it counted.
I can tell you there's no better feeling as a tennis player than pulling that off. You pull it off in practice and warm up. It's always a little smile.
That's well done from the team of Pegula and Krajicek, fully in sync, and now a deciding point and a hugely pivotal point too. The difference between 5-2 and 4-3 here in the second set.
That it is, and it's a bit tricky if you're on the Rojer Perez side, because on one hand you have the lefty, but on the other hand, that's that Jesse Pegula backhand return that's really, really good even when outstretched.
Oh, and she just missed the backhand return to Jessica Pegula. Not by much, but it's a hold for 5-2 for Perez and Rojer. Russ Thaler and Ryan Harrison on the call. This is quarterfinal action, the final quarterfinal of the mixed doubles competition on Louis Armstrong Stadium. And a double fault from Jessica Pegula. The winner of this match will face the American team of Taylor Townsend and Ben Shelton, who will be up on Ash later tonight, taking on Francis Tiafoe in quarterfinal action in the men's singles draw.
And that's going to be a blockbuster over there on Ash. Oh, just out.
Got to be two of the most charismatic players on
15
tour.
all.
Absolutely, and I saw in an interview over, I think during Wimbledon, Francis Tiafoe was saying he feels like Ben Shelton reminds him of a young version of himself when it comes to charisma and the way that he feeds on the crowd, loves the energy. So we'll see where the crowd lies today. I think they're just going to be looking for good tennis.
Yeah, I think they're going to be rooting. The crowd's going to be rooting for everyone who's behind. They'll just want to see more and more.
It's a treat. I think it'll be a packed house over there on Ash. I can't imagine there'll be a seat available at all. Really well done here by Jessie Pegula. Want to make sure that Rojer has to serve this out. It's felt like that this set has really been about the Ellen Perez turnaround, though. She's had so much more authority and stick on those volleys. She's been ripping those ground strokes with confidence, serving well, even down when she was just down that last game, deciding point.
Game, Pegula, Krajicek.
Fairly routine hold for Jessica Pegula, but now the hard part comes as the top seeds need to find a way to break, or else we're looking at a match tiebreak here on Louis Armstrong Stadium.
Well, I'll be looking for Ellen Perez to stay as active and involved as she has been really pretty much since 4-1 down in the first set. It's almost like you get that double breakdown. At times it can loosen you up and kind of go, okay, what do I have to lose now? I'm already down the double break.
And there's a missed volley. One of the first volleys we've seen her miss actually in the second set. Perez's game just sort of fell off the cliff towards the end of the first set. And that was a big part of the reason why maybe her team dropped the first set. But picking up her play in the second is a big reason why they're up 5-3 here.
That's so good. Yeah, Jean-Julien Rojer is going to do what he's going to do. He's been consistent. His level's been pretty much the same throughout the match. But as you can see, that last 2 points being a perfect example here. Rojer cleaning up the volleys when necessary. Ellen Perez, first point, she was a little hesitant. Last point there, she was a bit more active and involved. And as long as she can stay doing that, they're going to have a really good chance here to pull off this comeback. Good vision there as Ellen Perez saw Jessie Pegula kind of moving forward, anticipating a potential drop volley, and she notices that and elects to go with a deep volley. Kind of Jessie got caught in between a little bit of a ground stroke volley sort of swing, setting up Rojer for the put away. Jessica Pegula. Well, she has something to say about a potential match tiebreak. She says, not yet. Another short back swing. Really good body weight transfer. You wonder how much power she can create. Not too much spin on the ball. Very, very clean. Return winners, 7 out of Pegula Krajicek. Perez Rojer being a little bit more passive with the return, trying to get it down low. He'll want that one back. That was a good opportunity there to try and set up 2 break points, but instead we have 2 set points. That 30-all point is so pivotal whenever you have no ad scoring, being as the next point 1 will actually be 2 game points or break points for the team that wins it.
And there's the second set to the number 5 seeds. Ellen Perez and Jean-Julien Rojer.
1-0.
And they will change ends.
A 10-point match tiebreak will be played to decide the match.
And exactly what Julie Genley just said. A 10-point match tiebreak will decide it. Of the United States, Ellen Perez of Australia, Jean-Julien Rojer of the Netherlands, Russ Thaler and Ryan Harrison on the call on Louis Armstrong Stadium. Here we go. First to 10, win by 2 to get to the semifinals.
A great start there. Can't really say too much other than sorry, because it's the right play from Krajicek, especially with these lights up ahead. You don't want to put that too close to the sideline and knowing that he's already made an error off the overhead. So no ill intent at all, just trying to make sure he puts away the overhead.
Let offensive. Let offensive.
Little device there. Can't be sure what that device is, but my best guess would be it would be in relation to the automatic line calling system, to where it wouldn't call the next shot and it would reset the point. That would be my guess if I had to guess. I'm not quite sure though. Again, that's a calculated guess based on watching everything.
All right, well, let's. It looks like when the button is pressed, that's when the lines are actually in play. That the button was pressed at the same time the serve was hit.
That's exactly right. So it seems to be point activated. Or it could be turning the net device on also, because which would be need to be turning off. So
you're right.
That's
okay.
a possibility, but
we'll leave
nonetheless,
it
we
yeah,
have
we'll
Pegula, Krajicek, who are 2-1 up the mini break.
Yeah, Perez did actually a really nice job just getting the volley back. It was a difficult first volley, but the overhead, again, proved to be too much. It's sort of the story of this match is wayward overheads.
Such a good play from Jesse Pegula. The anticipation of knowing that Rojer would want to get involved and cross. She does an excellent job here with this forehand. As you can see, great first serve. Austin Krajicek does well to get this volley down low. Rojer wants to make a move and get involved, but after having played almost now 2 full sets out there, Jesse has a good sense that Rojer is going to be crossing.
That's good hands from Perez. And quickly the mini break has been returned and we're back on serve in the match tiebreak.
Yeah, good fake here, and this just wasn't quite enough with this first ball forehand. I think that Perez did an excellent job getting in tight on the net. Showed a little bit of authority with that stick. What reflexes there. Austin Krajicek trying to get involved, but Jean-Julien Rojer just a little too fast in that volley-to-volley exchange. 3 points apiece as we get this first change of ends here in the tiebreaker that decides the match.
A 10-point match tiebreak feels like a marathon in comparison to the regular 7-point tiebreak. Normal scores don't seem to apply. 3-all, it's like resetting from the beginning. First to 10, win by 2.
Great move. Apologies, trying to show Jesse it wasn't ill intent, but just doing his best to get involved there and put that away. You'll see at times as this match tightens up, a lot of times you don't want to risk bringing the alley into play. Good move and field goal between the legs of Jesse Pegula for the much noted Buffalo Bills family owners. Austin Krajicek does well there to erase that short-lived lead for Perez Rojer.
sixth ace of the match for the #1 seeds, just 2 to Perez and Rojer.
Just the first sign of Austin
5-4,
Krajicek
Perez,
blinking
Rojer.
there, and now little mini break here, 5-4. But as you noted, this tiebreaker to 10, not quite as pivotal as it would have been if they were playing to 7. Very long match tiebreakers as they try and eventually make their way toward that elusive 10th point.
It's just beautiful stuff from Ellen Perez. A terrific
6-4,
lob
Perez, Rojer.
from Jessica Pegula.
Yes, her lobs have been on point today, but as we talked about, ever since that first set, Ellen Perez has been so active at the net and great vision there, noticing the opportunity to put that little inside-out forehand volley just out of reach.
Well, that's a big return of serve from Austin Krajicek, setting it up for Jessica Pegula. And the mini break goes right back, and we're back on serve at 5-6.
Yeah, just as it feels like you might think you have a sense of where this match is going, it quickly turns on a dime and goes the other direction. This is coming down to the wire. He did so well to get back on that. A lot of players in that situation, after making a couple overhead errors, would be content to just leave that one to their partner, but him sensing the opportunity to get back quick, puts an overhead away. Nothing between them here. 1 set all, 6 points all. Match tiebreak. A little overcooked. Good vision.
7-6, Pegula,
But
Krajicek.
could not quite get it down. All the pressure back on the serve of Rojer Perez now as Ellen Perez takes both balls. A lot of times you see players taking more than one, trying to get the newest and brightest one that will move a little quicker. This has been an excellent display of 1-2 punches here, doing very well. All players setting up their partner with that first ball put away after the serve. We're seeing a really high level of mixed doubles out there today.
And we've reached the point at 7-all where every point can be critical.
Pivotal, critical.
There was a pivotal. You knew exactly what I meant, too.
It was a good combination.
I think I created a new word at 7-all.
It worked. Oh, just the first sign of a little blemish here in the tiebreaker from Ellen Perez.
And the match is on the Pegula and Krajicek racket now at 8-7. They'll get 2 serves.
That they will. And they'll feel pretty confident about it with Austin Krajicek having the opportunity here. As we noted, he's got that unbelievable lefty slider serve out wide. Will he go back to that well here to try and set up double match point?
Krajicek also double faulted in his last service go round. Oh, it's just quality doubles. Quality double shot. Yep.
It was a really well executed serve, and Ellen Perez just anticipating it, getting down low, but then Krajicek Pegula do so well to get back in control of this point. And it's Ellen Perez with the vision, seeing Austin Krajicek a little too far in the middle as he was trying to get involved. And she hooks that lefty forehand cross, 8 apiece.
That'll sail wide.
Wow, that's great vision there, Austin Krajicek. That did not miss by much.
Match point now for the team of Pegula and Krajicek. Oh, and another missed overhead ends it. Pegula and Krajicek by the skin of their chinny chin chin are into the semifinals in the mixed doubles at the US Open.
That was electric tennis there late in this match. Mutual respect all around from all players. There was not much deciding them. It was tops and turves and ups and down and everything we had in between. And it is the end. Pegula and Krajicek 10-8 in the match tiebreaker. And you can see what it means to them here. Semifinals of the US Open against Ben Shelton and Taylor Townsend. All-American affair in the semifinals. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people coming out for that one.